Yeah, and look, I think it's understandable that we all run a business, right? And
Yeah.
we all want to make money, and we
Mhm.
all want to book the right meetings to make money.
Yeah.
So I think it would be lying to ourselves if we didn't agree, um, confess, if you want, that we do want to make a sale, if
Mhm.
possible. If
Mhm.
we can help them, we want to make that sale.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to hide that because everybody is. But I do understand that the level of over indexing on transactional that's 99% of the people
Yeah.
out there doing, especially when you're doing sales and outreach,
Yeah.
but even including ABM, including people that create content and the content sucks and they're just
Yeah.
doing it for the call to action at the bottom, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I do think yes, the goal is to help people and close that sale, but we can go more relationship based, right? And
Mhm.
we can
Yeah.
do the deposits that you mentioned, Josh Brown.
Yeah.
Josh Brown, you're supposed to be on the podcast in June. You agreed to that, so we'll hold you to it. And and talking about relationship, one of the other topics I want to discuss with you
Yeah.
is with the rise of automation and that
Mhm.
fight between automation between versus relationship. How do you play in that opposite dynamic? Is it an opposite dynamic to start? What do you think about how those two forces interact?
Yeah. Well, so I think that's very topical because my background was very much relationship based selling and like finding really good people that were willing to refer business, that were willing to kind of extend themselves to help me build network and influence and that sort of thing. And then my business partner, Aaron, we just had a conversation about this morning. His background was an outbound lead generation.
Mhm.
So he was running, the 5,000 prospect outbound cadences. And when you do numbers like that, like even a 2% conversion rate is great,
Right.
like that's a lot of revenue. So
Mhm.
what we have found is like merging the two, depending on client focus is very, 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 very important. And the whole reason why we adopted account based is because like volume based, lead centric, outbound, like it is purely a numbers game, and you don't care if you get 30% uh, unsubscribe rate or like 10% undeliverability rate or like
Right.
God forbid you get blacklisted. So when it comes to automation, I think there's smarter ways to do it. I just feel like most people have taken the lazy way and they create their sequence and then they don't really vet the contact list and they don't really make the messaging relevant for those individuals that are going to be part of that prospecting list. So like, for example, we use a tool called reply.io and it's a sales engagement tool.
Mhm.
It's like Outreach, it's like SalesLoft, etc.
Yeah, I
But we
started
always,
using after you recommended it
yeah,
to me actually.
yeah, yeah, awesome. And what we do with that is obviously we have a first name, last name, contact, whatever. But the merge tags we put in are always custom insights, and it takes us
Mhm.
a hell of a lot longer to create lists.
Yeah.
So whether that custom insight is like we have a client that's in the security space, and we reference like the amount of crime that has happened in their um, market that they work in,
Mhm.
right? Like, so it takes a lot of time. We're creating 18 additional
Right.
columns, but we're going a little bit above and beyond in order to make it more relevant, and create better insights for them so they can sink their teeth into it. So yeah, automation, I think, has to happen in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's not. You can't just like paint over sales with automation. So um, I don't know what like the quote unquote
But
right mix is, but like automation should help you do your job better. It shouldn't make your prospects' lives harder, and I think
I love that.
that's the big miss that we've made, as a sales industry. And I think a lot of that comes from like the whole predictable revenue model, and Aaron Ross and Aaron and Jason Lemkin, like obviously they built that machine at Salesforce and did an amazing job with it. But as SDRs were comped on appointments set, well, how do you get more appointments set? You you
Right.
enroll many more prospects into it, and then that's when a lot of the sales engagement tools started rolling out. some better than others. And I think we just like got it all ass backwards. Like we shouldn't be worried about volume. Like we should be worried about like creating value and meaningful impact within businesses. Like it's okay if like your software or your service isn't a fit for somebody.
Right.
Like there's no software in the world that I don't think that should or could be ubiquitous. Like you gotta understand like what uniquely you bring to the table that very few other people can provide. So